Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Phoenix Spring Tarot, and particularly welcome to all you Cancerians who are tuning in, and as well happy birthday to you. This is your month, this is your reading for the month of July 2020. So thank you for tuning in. As you can see, I've already shuffled your cards, so let's get stuck right in. All right, so at the beginning of the week, well, not the beginning of the week, but the first week I should say, in July, we're starting off with the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles really shows someone who has arrived. A person who has arrived, as you can see by all the rich grapes and the pentacles around them. And as you can see, they're taking pleasure in their success. And I think that's actually quite poignant as we're coming out of the solar eclipse that we've had for you on June the 21st. And that was a particularly powerful solar eclipse, as I'm sure that you guys are aware of, as it rallied the energy of 3 moons in one day. In addition to that, it was the day of the summer solstice. So I'm not surprised to see that you have this energy in the first week of July here, because it's still that energy that's coming out of the solar eclipse. So I'm not surprised that you guys are coming in with the Nine of Pentacles. And in clarifying the Nine of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. So that's even further doubly reinforcing what good energy you guys have around yourselves right now. Good energy, not only in terms of your spiritual awakening, your spiritual energy, but good energy particularly when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to career. There is the energy around you to manifest exactly what you want at this point, to manifest new plans that you have for money, to apply for new roles and new positions and be particularly successful at it, as clarified by the King of Pentacles. But also not only for new jobs and new positions and new ideas that would be successful. The Nine of Pentacles, and further clarified by the King of Pentacles, not only shows that, you guys can see the cards here, yeah. So it not only shows that, but what's also coming through from Spirit as well, is that with this Nine of Pentacles, it also represents some of you guys out there who have been really working judiciously at a particular career plan. You've been working at this career plan, really putting in the effort, and now you guys are finally being able to see the fruits of your labor, and you're able to revel and really enjoy of the fruits of your labor that's taken quite a long time of planning and application. In fact, it's really interesting what's being shown to me by this card as well, and what Spirit is also telling me is that many times people will be looking at you right now and thinking, oh my goodness, you have all this and it looks so easy to you. People think that you just snapped your fingers and got it like that. No. Little do they know, for some of you, it's taken months and in some cases even years of planning for it to come to fruition right now. Months and years of foresight for you guys to actually be able to come into your own, come into your energy, and just ride the wave of the solar eclipse that you guys had on July the 21st. So good things happening in the first week of July. And also I would say for some of you in the first week of July as well, I am seeing issues or activities related to relationships, as represented by the King of Pentacles here. So this could actually be a new reunion, you meeting someone, or it could be what Spirit is telling me is that it could be a well-established relationship, people working in harmony or taking your relationship now up to the next level. So there could be another level of commitment, or it could be what Spirit is also telling me as well for some of you with this King of Pentacles, that it could be for some of you, and this is female, male, female. Spirit is asking me to clarify that as well. It could be that for some of you, you've reached the stage right now where you need to look at your relationships. It's been going well, it's been going good for a while, but you're looking at your relationships and you're reevaluating your relationships. You're just considering, all right, where are we at the moment now? We're doing really well. In fact, I'm being told that other people would look in on you guys as a couple and looking at your partnership as a couple and say, you guys are the perfect couple. You guys are really doing well. So you guys know that as well. And you're reaching a stage where you're doing that evaluation, or you're looking in on the state of your relationship. So I'm thinking in the first week of July, there'll be a lot of discussion around that as well. But some of you guys look like a really good couple. Spirit, is there anything else for the first week that I haven't covered? I think there's something else in the first week, but as I go through these cards, I believe that will become clear. All right, so moving into the second week of July, we are starting off with the energy of the Ten of Swords. And I know, especially after we've had such a fantastic start of week, this could look particularly morbid, but not to worry, we will be clarifying this. Spirit will be clarifying this for us. We have the Ten of Swords going into the second week, and as a clarifier for the Ten of Swords, we have the Page of Wands. So what this is telling me, of course, as we know, Ten of Swords is an end to something, an ending. And especially being swords, we're just thinking that, you know what, the thoughts in your head is that it's time to bring something to an end. It's time to bring something to a close and bring in new opportunity, as represented by the Page of Wands. So it's a Page of Wands, new opportunity, new thought, new spark of inspiration. That's what the Page of Swords represents. And the Page of the Page of Wands, I beg your pardon. So the Page of Wands is really a clarifier for the Ten of Swords in this case. And what is really interesting, I think, particularly in the second week, in the first and the second week of July, we have Mercury that's going directly into retrograde in Cancer. So when Mercury is going into retrograde, and especially if it's direct in your sign, just be very careful before you guys make any decisions as to walking away from a commitment, walking away from a job, walking away from signing a contract, or thinking that something is meant to come to an end, including relationships, friendships, etc. Just be really careful to take the time to think these things through, because Mercury in retrograde could be a particularly time when the brain gets very foggy, or we say things that we're not meant to say, or just take the opportunity to double check things. And if you're in doubt, if you can, when Mercury goes direct from the 13th onwards, if you could hold on until the middle of the month, middle towards the end of the month, before making any long-lasting commitments or changes, that would be best. So I think that's what that Ten of Swords is all about, is about endings. But, just being really careful about, with the Mercury being in retrograde, just be careful and give that a bit of thought when it comes to endings. Page of Wands, as I said, in terms of new opportunities, new creation, out with the old, in with the new, in with that new spark of inspiration. So that's not so bad. I know the Ten of Swords could be looking morbid, but it could be that there's been, what Spirit is telling me now, is that with this Ten of Swords, there has been a situation that's been going on for quite a while, that you've been putting up with for quite a while. I'm being shown a situation with people, particularly a situation with friendships, particularly work opportunities that you may have been in with, sort of like a dual partnership, work dual partnership that some of you may have been in with someone, and it's been a bit troublesome for a while. You haven't really known about it for a while, and you've just decided, you know what, at this point, enough is enough, and you may have just decided to walk away from it. Just walk away to free up your time, and that walking away from it and that bringing it to a close, that would free you up for just new ideas and new inspirations and new creativities to come in. So that's what, to me, that second week of July represents. So there are lots of hard decisions to be made hard decisions and considerations to be made in that week, but know it's for the best. All right, so in our third week, we're going into the Two of Pentacles. So as you can see, the Two of Pentacles, he's juggling here 2 coins, being connected by the infinity sign. And I believe following on from the energy being represented by the, oops, could you see that there? Yeah, we can. Being represented by the 10 of Swords, which is coming down to the end, or coming down to a cycle, the 10 of Swords. We now go back down in our numbers to the 2 of Pentacles. So the 2 says to me that this is something that is a new opportunity that you're looking at, that you've taken on, probably a couple of new opportunities, probably a couple of new ideas, and you're just looking at these 2 options and you're trying to make both of these 2 options work. And I think particularly as well, coming out of the 10 of Swords going down into the 2, you've taken a risk. You've taken a risk here. You've walked away from a particular situation. You've taken a risk. You've had a divine inspiration that you've decided to follow through on. And now you're trying to make that inspiration work. So the question is at this point, would that inspiration work? Would that, it's decided to walk away from a new friendship? If two groups of people are in an argument, which is Spirit is also telling me as well, and you decide to go with one particular group over another, is that right? Spirit is also pointing out an opportunity to go it alone, work-wise, setting up your own business, which the Page of Wands represents. And it's just that starting phase of thinking, sometimes you may think of setting up a side hustle, but you may be still in your 9-to-5 job, or you're setting up a side hustle in addition to a side business that you also have, and you're just thinking, oh my gosh, would this work? It's such hard work for me. I can't tell the wood from the trees. It's really confusing right now. Would that work? That's what is coming through with the 2 of Pentacles. Also, what's coming through with the 2 of Pentacles as well, for some of you, what Spirit is pointing out to me, as we have the 9 and the King of Pentacles. Remember when we were discussing energies in the first week of July, we also talked about relationships. So I think here with this 2 of Pentacles, particularly with the effect of, because I know in the first week of July, we have a lunar eclipse that's happening in the 7th house, and Saturn is also retrograde in your 7th house as well. What's 7th house? 7th house is to deal with partnerships. So what I sense, what this card in Spirit is telling me with this 2 of Pentacles as well, when it comes to relationship, considering we have Saturn retrograde in your 7th house, lunar eclipse happening on the 5th of July in your 7th house as well, your 7th house being the house of partnerships like marriage, long-term committed relationships as represented the first week as well. It could be that you guys are looking at redefining the boundaries of your relationship. Because if you, what Spirit did say in the first week is that you guys are at the stage of looking into your relationships. How do we take our relationship to the next level, especially those who have been in long-term committed relationships, especially for those who are in marriages, etc. You're looking to, and you've been inspired at this time to put your relationship under focus and just question what's working for me in this relationship at the moment and what's not working for me as well. And just having the courage to come forth and say that. It's also a point where with juggling, you could have been, for some of you, been putting up with a lot in the past in your relationships in order to make it work. And this is the time where you need to speak out as to what's not working and what's working. And it could be very tough to do. It could be a very tough thing to do, because if it's not broke, don't fix it, as they say, right? But as I said before, going back to the powerful solar eclipse that happened on June the 21st. I think the energy from that eclipse is encouraging you to sort of evaluate yourself, evaluate your career, evaluate being brave enough to step out and make different choices, creating space for you to then be inspired. And it's not only happening with work, but also with relationships as well. And know when you're clearing out that space to bring, you're allowing the opportunity to bring something better in, as represented by the beautiful World card. Imagine having a major arcana, end of the major arcana cycle in World card to clarify a low Two of Pentacles. Beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. That's really great. So whether it is in, and I believe as well what Spirit is also telling me is many times we go through situations in our lives. It's part of our life journey. It's part of the divine inspiration and plan that's meant to give us learnings and insight into this life. And I think making the decision to, and having that courage to step away from a situation, which would then bring in room for new opportunities to come in, though difficult and could be challenging to juggle, that's fine, that's par for the course, because that was what you were meant to learn. So all the various steps that you go through for work and relationships at various situations, because Spirit is telling me about that as well, situationships in terms of groups and something between groups of people, that friendship groups of people that may have gone on. It's all culminating to the end of a cycle, things that you're meant to move on. So that things that you're meant to learn in this cycle, you've learned it, it's coming to an end, you've made the changes, you've made the steps that you were meant to take. Now you're ready. Now the universe is opening up that next fantastic chapter in your life. And that's what the world represents. Right, so we are going into the 4th week, 5 weeks in July. I noticed, so that's why we have the extra 5th week here. So I'm doing a reading for the energies in every week. So we're going into the 4th week. Having said that, we have the World card with the Ace of Swords. So with the Ace of Swords, usually if you have a question, the Ace of Swords usually answers it, and answers it in the affirmative as well. So I can imagine for many of you, with the 10 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles, when you're struggling, is it, oh my goodness, have I made the right choice? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Ace of Swords is here to tell you, you know what? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Ace of Swords is quite powerful, ensuring that you're going to have new thoughts, ideas, inspirations, and discussions about formulating and thinking about how to go about it as well. Ace of Swords is quite powerful for manifestations as well. So if there is anything that you're thinking of that you would like to bring into fruition or materialize in the 3D world, this is a fantastic opportunity to do that also with the Ace of Swords. Particularly what we have happening in this week as well, energies from the 3rd week moving on to the 4th week. We have a new moon happening on the 20th, and that new moon is in your 1st house. And interestingly enough, when we have the World card here, showing the closing of one chapter and opening and going into another, with that new moon, especially with the new moon energies where your subconscious, shall we say, elders, shadow energies and so on in your subconscious are really coming up to the surface for you to look at, you'll be able to say and think what it is in your life that doesn't work for you, that you'd want to change, because that new moon is happening in your 1st house, your 1st house of identity. So I'm not surprised you're getting this Ace of Swords here, because that is a lot of thinking that you'd be doing, new ideas, new thoughts happening in your 1st house under that new moon on the 20th. Who am I? What do in the energy of this new chapter you're going into? Who am I? How am I presenting myself into the world? What am I manifesting into this 3D world? manifesting in terms of my family, in terms of my social surroundings, in terms of my relationships and partnerships. What am I bringing to this? Am I happy with what I'm bringing to this? New moon on the 20th in your first house. How are you presenting yourself? And also, actually, on the 23rd, you have the sun coming into your second house. And that is of money, and that is of confidence, your jobs, your side hustles. If you're meant to be getting a promotion at work, that's the perfect time for that to happen as well. And that's all happening in around coming down to the end of July. Now, in a clarifier to the Ace of Swords, what we have is the Nine of Wands. So as you could see here, there's this poor guy holding on to a rod and seeing all these other rods around him and thinking to himself, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. This is a lot for me right now. How could I get through this? But the thing is, when I look at this in conjunction with all the positive energy, when I say positive, because we have 10 of Swords and we have the 9 of Swords coming in here, which I'll come to. I mean positive in the sense that you are on your divine path, right? And when we have the World card, that's happened in our third week, which is the energy of the closing of one chapter, going into another. And we have the 9 of Wands. Things can be overwhelming. Things could be very overwhelming. You know, it's an overwhelming time. You have so much going in, so much that you'd like to change. It can seem overwhelming in that you can't tell the wood from the trees. But as you can see with this guy here, he has one wand in his hand, or in his arms rather, and he's looking at the other. So his eye is looking up to the next wand. Spirit is saying, take it one step at a time. Don't be overwhelmed. You have the capability to do it. This is a 9 of Wands card, so you're very high number-wise in the minor arcana. To get that high number-wise means you have the skill and you have the ability to do it, and it's in your divine plan. Just take it one step at a time. And if you do, you have one wand, then you'll just conquer the second seeming problem. Then you'll conquer the third. Then you'll conquer the fourth. Just take it one step at a time. And with the Ace of Swords, all the aces, at least the way I interpret it, are always divine. And especially as it's swords, it's from the source, Ace of Swords. It's just really using your intellect to think through, analyze the issue, and then go full forge ahead in tackling it. Right, so our 5th week to round off July going into August. And in that we have the 8 of Pentacles. And that is really fantastic, because what that tells me is we had the 9 of Swords. So, you know, you're looking around and being very overwhelmed by this new chapter, by the new opportunities. And in fact, Spirit is also coming into me with new job opportunities particularly, and promotions for some of you. So if someone applied for a promotion, it's a matter of finding out earlier in July that you've gotten it. Promotions, new jobs as well for those who are applying. This is the month too, especially after the 13th, because we have Mercury retrograde, but Mercury goes direct after the 13th. So that would be a perfect time to apply for new jobs. If you do get those new jobs, signing contracts, going full steam ahead on that. Pluto and Jupiter are also conjunct at that point, just shining extra positivity and good luck on you as well. Sorry, Spirit is just giving me a lot of these messages, so I'm just trying to ensure that I'm getting it all to you guys, so I hope that's clear. So all of that came through as I picked up the 8 of Pentacles card. for the end of, hope I'm getting it to focus there, for the end of the month. And this just shows, right, you know, you may have been overwhelmed with the Nine of Wands, but you've thought through it, you've set your strategies, this is what you want. Now you're just judiciously hard at work. And what this Eight of Pentacles shows to me, as we are high in the numbers in the Minor Arcana again, is that this is something that you can do. This is something that you have the skill and ability to carry off. So don't be daunted. As the Nine of Wands show, or as the Two of Pentacles show, don't be daunted. Yes, it may be a bit tricky at certain points, understanding how it's all meant to go, how it's all meant to work. And that is the case whenever we start a new job, or whenever we get into when we get a promotion into a new position. To start off with, it's going to be a bit tricky. We're going to be a bit unsure, could be confidence issues and so on. But have your strategy, have your plan, get your head down, and before you know it, you're just getting into the flow of things. And that's what that Eight of Pentacles represents. However, there is still going to be, for some of you all, a bit of anxiety about it. You know, up in bed, you're going through it again and again and again in your mind. Is this going to work out? Is this going to work out? You know, I've given up a lot for this. Is this going to work out? Is it going to be all right? Yes, it is. Not to worry about it. And I think also what is coming through for the Nine of Swords as well, what Spirit has just pointed out to me, is that with the World card and the energy of the World card as well, which we had in our third week, especially with major arcanas, the energy of major arcanas tend to stay with us for months and months. They represent the main theme that will be in our lives for a few months. So really, understand in that case that when we are closing a chapter, starting a new one, we can have the remnants from the old chapter sort of still with us. You know, when we've started something new, that bit of uncertainty and so on could still be there in our subconscious. Spirit is telling me this Nine of Swords is a subconscious card. It's the uncertainty that you're feeling, the uncertainty of something new, the uncertainty of, have I made the right choice? Oh, I don't know. I'm getting used to it. Oh, and what Spirit is showing me an image for some of you guys at work of people looking at you a bit differently or treating you a bit differently. But know that you have the capability for it. You can manage it. Put your head down, do the work. As with the Ace of Swords, do your manifesting. It would be fine. Spirit, is there anything else? Because there's so many different groups of you. I just want to make sure that everything that's meant to come through for each one of you comes through. So at least for July, you guys could leave with something that pertains to you, to just give you that positive energy, inspiration for the month of July, or also for different things you guys need to look out for. That was, so Spirit, is there anything else that we need to look at? Okay, let us go. Oh, Spirit just directed me to this. So at the bottom of your deck, you have the Strength card, which is quite good. And I think the Strength card, to get the Strength card at the bottom of the deck, is quite apt, considering the Nine of Swords energy and the Ten of Swords energy that you guys have for this month, and that you're closing a chapter and entering a new one. It's just having that confidence in yourself to know that you can do this. You do deserve this. And I think what particularly comes from me out of the Nine of Pentacles. As I said first thing when we started this reading, is that with the Nine of Pentacles, people are looking at you like, oh my goodness, you look at you, she's fantastic. She has all of, and when I say she, I'm meaning she in terms of the energy, because I know that you could be male, female looking at this reading, but the she energy and that feminine energy that's coming through is someone who appears to have things put together, someone who seems cool, calm, controlled, someone whose success comes easily to you. And I'm getting that for you guys out there as well in terms of the King of Pentacles. So you have the female and male energy in terms of Pentacles being represented here, which I think is very, very impressive. But they don't know, as represented by the Strength card, just how much you had to go through to get to this stage. That's what people just don't understand. It doesn't come easily. It took a lot of work, a lot of effort in order to get to this stage. And a lot of work, a lot of effort. It took a lot of strength. In doing that, sorry, let me rephrase that as I'm getting it from Spirit. You went through a lot of challenges in order to get to the Nine and the King of Pentacles stage. And in going through and passing those challenges, you've developed a lot of strength, a lot of inherent strength for you guys. So this is with the solar eclipse at the end of June the 21st. You all have a lot of opportunity and a lot of change that's coming into you. And it can lead to a lot of uncertainty and juggling, but know that you have the strength to get through it. Okay, let's check the oracle cards to see if there's any lasting guidance that we can get from Spirit, if there's anything that's not covered by the tarot. Oh, Keepers of the Earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Oh, beautiful. So what that's telling me, I'll just put this here. What that's telling me is that you all are being guided. Divine guidance is on your side. This is your time now. You all have put in the work, overcome trials, tribulations, and I'm seeing hard work. I'm seeing Spirit is showing me images of some of you guys staying up really late at night, putting in the effort, developing that strength. And through doing all of that, you guys have not been alone. You all have had your angel guides there beside you, helping you. You're not alone. Your ancient ancestors are standing beside you. Beautiful card. Fantastic. Okay, Spirit, anything else? Oh, no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. Very, very strong words, and I think that is coming out of our Ten of Swords energy as well. And I think that is also coming out for some of you, Spirit. What is coming out here? What Spirit is showing me is that for when you're closing a new chapter, coming into a next, there could be a tendency to be very overwhelmed, to think, oh my goodness, this is too much. I just want to go back to what's safe for me, what's comfortable for me. I don't want to, I just don't want to do this. I don't want this new opportunity. It's too much work. It's too uncertain. And Spirit is saying, it's causing me subconscious worry and grief. And Spirit is saying, nope, do not have those thoughts in your head. Go for it. Know that you're ancient. Know that you're being guided. Know that you're being protected. Your ancient ancestors are standing right beside you, giving you that guidance. And at the bottom of of our oracle deck here, don't know if you guys can see this, we have pillars of light. So your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. And that just flows quite nicely into the strength card. No, it's a lot of change this month, but after the solar eclipse, the rallying, as I said earlier, of the energy from 3 new moons, there is a lot from the subconscious, a lot from your shadow side that's coming through, that will be coming through this month. It can be it can be very intimidating, but know with the closing of a chapter, entering a new one for the next few months, the theme is, once all that subconscious energy is being trudged up, your vibration is going to rise. Your vibrational energy is going to rise. Your ability to think and manifest is going to be quite strong. So Spirit is saying, use that wisely. Let me put this here. Spirit, are there any parting words or thoughts? I'm being told that in terms of parting words and thoughts for Cancer for the month of July, I'm being told that it can seem daunting. There is a lot of change. There is a lot coming into you. But be open to it. Be open and ride the wave of it. Spirit is saying, resist the temptation to shut down and just say no. Really resist that. Really, and resist the temptation. Know that you're being guided and your ancient ancestors are there with you. Have that courage and sense your vibration rise. Also, Spirit is saying in this time to trust yourself. Out of this, you're going through a rebirth at the moment. With this new world card, the closing of a new chapter, opening of another, you're becoming a blank canvas. You're looking at yourself. You're looking at how you're presenting yourself to the world. And you're making tweaks and changes to that. You know, you're looking at new opportunities. You're looking at new side jobs, new side hustles. You're going into promotions. All of that's going to bring in a lot of change for you, and it could be really daunting. But stay the course. Be open to the change. Experience it like a roller coaster. The Spirit has just given me the image of a roller coaster. All right, Cancer, happy birthday once again, and I hope you enjoy this reading. All the best for this month. If any of this resonated with you, it would really be appreciated and would help the channel so much to spread this message to others who may be in need of hearing it. If you can leave a comment for me below, or if you think anyone needs to hear what's in this message, please feel free to share. All right, you guys, thank you for watching this all the way through to the end. I appreciate you all so much. I hope this resonated with you. And thank you for joining me on Phoenix Spring Tarot, and wishing you all the best. Thank you.